Welcome to the Coffee with Karen podcast, a weekly chat show discussing everything from holistic health to current affairs from a mental, physical, and spiritual perspective. Get your weekly cup of positivity with a sprinkling of woo-woo.
So, welcome to the show. Today's Thursday. This is going out live on Mintwave Radio. You can simply ask Alexa for Mintwave Radio or go to the website, karenrobertscoaching.com/mintwave-radio. If this is via podcast, you can go to the same website, download the app for Apple and Android. Feel free to subscribe to any of the other podcasts on our network. There are many, so find the right fit for you. Now, today's episode is 152, and today we have Sarah Proia, who is a reality designer. We're going to be talking about spirit-led abundance. I'm your host, Karen Roberts, helping coaches and therapists to get their message heard to the people who need it. So, Sarah, 10 years existence of motivational speaking, psychic spiritual investigator, master manifester, trauma survivor, homeless to abundant, TikTok influencer. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Karen. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. Where do we start with that? Let's go back to the beginning. So if you would like to first share with the audience a little bit about your story and how you found yourself in this kind of world, as it were, the woo-woo, and why you're doing what you're doing today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long journey. So I experienced some trauma. I witnessed my father's murder when I was 12. And I was very much so involved in church for a long time. And it was wild because 3 days before it had happened, I had a dream that happened and then it came true. And I thought, man, am I possessed? What is this? How did I know that? That's so dark type thing. But little things like that were leading up to it. Like I would have dreams of kids on the bus standing up saying goofy things. And then that would happen. Eventually, women from church gave me a dream book. And it really took off from there. I experienced a lot of being the underdog, lots of just not fitting in, all those things that hurt. You know, we all want to be accepted and we all have these big dreams and none of them were ever occurring. I just felt like I had this dark cloud following me for some time. And it wasn't until I finally really embraced, again, my spirituality and realized that there are no ceilings, did things change for me. And it's just been the most wild ride ever since then. It's like when they say timeline hopping, I feel like I've done that 80 times.
Wow. So what sort of things were happening and what were you doing as you were going through this journey?
The first thing that I had to overcome was my sadness. I was so addicted, I'll say, to being hurt that I really started noticing where my lacking was. And every time I noticed that I was in a negative emotion, I started to train myself to either hop on YouTube and look at funny videos or pull my phone out and look at pictures of my daughter and just change that frequency completely. And it started really with emotion. I just wanted to feel okay. Then that led into, okay, now all these good luck things are happening, like free coffees, best parking spot, like random things working. I decided I wanted to take it a level up and work with money. I currently don't have a job. I do and I don't. I follow my passions. I do what I love. An opportunity pops up everywhere. I let people know what I'm capable of doing. And then people approach me and offer me money to do the things that I'm good at and the things that I enjoy doing. So that's where my financial abundance came in. I could tell a million stories. What do you want to hear about, Karen? Tell me.
It just goes to show that because we think we are in control, because I suppose we have been conditioned to believe that we have to take control, right? All these responsibilities, we've got bills to pay, we've got rent to pay. So we must take charge. And actually what I'm hearing from you, and we spoke such a long time ago, wasn't it? And I was totally in awe with your story. But it sounds like you just totally, it's having that faith, having that complete trust that something's going to come through. Whereas we panic in general, don't we? Because I've got this bill to pay, and if I don't get enough work to pay it, I'm in trouble. I can't feed my children. And the fear stops us.
Right. And what I have found is I know that my higher power did not put me on this earth to suffer. Therefore, I'm supposed to be experiencing things. And as long as what I'm experiencing gives me joy, I will be covered. Sometimes things are taken away to make room for bigger and better things. And you're not really going to hear a lot of entrepreneurs say what I'm about to say, but I have no cares. I don't budget. I don't, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like it's so woo woo. But really, it's the faith that I know that I have purpose. I know that. And I know that I'm to be provided for. And when we stress, for example, I was across the country and I got a message before bed saying that I had a low balance. And again, I don't budget, right? So I'm like, oh no, what is this? It was like a reality check. What does this look like? But instead, I was like, no, I was led here with purpose. I'm going to be fine. I went to sleep. I woke up. I had so many unexpected deposits put into my account. My balance was not low by the time I woke up and actually checked my account. Whatever I need is always provided. The things, and I'll be real, there are some days where I have $20,000 in my account, and there are other days where I'll have 11 cents in my checking account. But what did I need to buy on the days with 11 cents? Literally nothing. Then those big blessings come in like this, and it could just be like, I could just say, I'm in the mood for coffee. And I'll be like, no, you have 11 cents. I'm like, that's silly, Sarah. That's not how I live. I don't live in a frequency of lack. I'll check my phone and, oh, look, a new deposit has come in. And again, my 11-cent balance went to thousands without me even being aware. And I know it's hard to comprehend, but again, it's the faith. I serve my higher power. Whatever you choose your higher power to be, serve it, live with purpose. And I promise your higher power will never turn a blind eye on you. And if it doesn't feel like it's going your way, it's because you're dreaming too small, and God's, or whatever you call your higher power, is trying to remove you from that situation to actually receive the abundance that you deserve. Because again, we're not here to live small or suffer. The more we engage in that stress, the more stress we're creating. And again, you're talking to somebody who doesn't have a job, but has 5 acres of land, 2 cars, a beautiful home, travels frequently, and just stress-free living.
Proof for the pudding. But this is it, isn't it? It sounds really difficult because, again, for most people, they'll be like, oh, what am I going to do? I've only got 11 cents in my bank account. And of course, that's going to block, isn't it? That's instant. You've just pushed it away. So why do you think that you found a way? Obviously, it didn't happen overnight. It would have taken practice. Like you said, if you were in a low vibration, you would go and choose, because you could have chose to just lie in bed and wallow in self-pity, but you chose to go and watch YouTube videos to raise your vibration. But what was it for you? How did you get there? Or how did you get to that realization? And how did you get to that real trust? Because many people would struggle. I know that they would just stop it before they've even got started. So what do you think was going on?
I, at the time, was a single mom, over 250 pounds. My relationships weren't working. I had no job. I only had a car. I was living out of a suitcase. My sister was was nice enough to let me stay with her for a little bit. And I was just fed up. I was just tired, sick of it. I was just so sick of it. And I watched the movie The Secret, and it changed my life. And from there, I just kept manifesting. Actually, after that, I did fitness modeling. Like, I thought about what were the things that I had control over, because there's very little that we have control over, but there are key essential things that we do have control over, and that is our mind and our body. So I knew I couldn't be a counterfeit and make money. I had to, yes, we can look for jobs. Yes, there are things that we can do. But there are also things like you can't stop having to pay rent. You have to be able to pay for your home. There are things, again, we have control over and things that we don't. So I just little by little took the things that I had control over. And it started with my weight. And I lost, at that point, I've gained a bit back. I'm not a bodybuilder anymore, but I did get into bodybuilding. I did fitness modeling. I went from 250 pounds to 113 of like good muscle.
Wow.
And I just really leaned into the things that I had control over. And with each little win, I became empowered. And again, it's that faith of just believing that you can do anything. There, again, I'll say it once more, there are no ceilings. You can be and do anything. You just need to realize what you have control over and work on those things with a good heart, pure intention. Want others to win just as badly as you want to win, because I did have a lot of resentment in my heart. I did have a lot of hatred. I had to let all of that go. And again, it's the frequencies that we give out are the frequencies that we will receive. So even while struggling, I could have let the world turn me cold, but I continued to give my warmth. I wasn't completely financial abundant, but when somebody needed something from me, I'd give it. Again, have boundaries and limitations. You can't hurt yourself while trying to save others, but I don't know, just treating everybody, we're all mirrors of each other. If we can just treat everybody the way that we want to be treated, it always comes back.
But it goes back again to that. That must have taken practice. I'm sure you just didn't get there, because for a lot of people out there, it's amazing that we are all controlled unless we are aware of this. And like you said, you have to, it's almost like you've got to prove it to yourself, because people listening, I think, oh, that's rubbish. But they would have a good day for about 10 minutes and then start thinking on the negative stuff. So they never give it long enough. And I love the fact that The Secret was my sort of aha moment, as it were. We had been listening a lot to Bob Proctor. I'd never been introduced to the self-development arena. My daughter must have been 1. She's 23 now, so it's a while ago. And quite often it's a lot of these network marketing companies that sort of introduce you to it because they're into entrepreneurship. And I decided to listen to one of the speakers. I thought maybe I should take the advice, and I read 3 books: Who Moved My Cheese, Psycho-Cybernetics, and Think and Grow Rich. And then they recommended an event. It was a Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. And I wrote on there, I really didn't believe it. But because they were probably thinking, oh, they're going to put their goals down as being really successful in their company, except I didn't. My goal was, I want to own my own fitness studio because I've been in fitness, own a house because I was in rented accommodation, and drive a 4x4, obviously before they started saying about climate change. Right? And then carried on. I'm living in London, but where am I going to have my own studio? I freelance all over the place. And we moved to the Algarve. And this is 5 years later. We've been listening to Bob, and Bob said, if you've got a big goal, burn the boats, right? Well, I was 7 months pregnant. I've got a 4-year-old daughter. She flew out with my friend, and me and my partner in 2 cars, we both drove out there. We didn't research it. We thought we were going to just freelance teaching because we both taught. Very quickly realised there's not going to be enough work for ourselves, and thought we're going to have to start our own thing. And one of the coaches from the Bob Proctor thing called me to sell me their program. I recognise that now. And Bob had just recorded The Secret. So I said, oh, we've pre-ordered it, so we're waiting for it. He said, there is so much depth to that film. Watch it twice a day for a month. And I thought, you're crazy. But I did. The long and the short of it, basically, we had our own fitness studio. On the back of having the fitness studio, we bought my first house. And I ended up driving a 4x4. It wasn't actually the choice, but it was the only thing in Portugal that you could put through the business. So we had a big truck. And it was only then that I actually it worked.
Yes.
And do you know what, Sarah?
Hmm.
Ever since then, I would say it's been more of a struggle. And I think it's because it is that having that detachment from the outcome, which I had because I was just going about my business in London, never really give it a thought. And I think that is the hardest part for people to get, because when you want something, you want it, but we're pushing it away. So what would you say to people? How do they, I know it for myself only because I have experienced it, but how would you explain to others how they can get over this, or how they can be detached from the outcome so it flows?
Is wanting. It's so contradictive. I love your story, by the way. Like, it blows my mind every time I hear stuff like that. But when you have an outcome, that's your little human mind coming up with an outcome when there is something so much bigger. And I can't even tell you about the amount of things that I've wanted that finally, after I was like, I gave up, whatever. And then I got myself back into that space. Because when we're wanting, again, we're in a state of lack. So when you want, it's not here. When you are content, you are in receiving. So when you want, again, from that state of lack, you're pushing it away, which is really difficult because you want these things. The best way that I get over it is I just know that the idea wouldn't be planted in my brain if it was not meant for me. So until I achieve that, I will be a faithful servant. And what that looks like is continuing on my journey and serving my purpose. I believe that everybody has a very unique and special purpose, and our wants distract us from that. But if we keep our eye on the prize, that's when we get into that flow of abundance. It's, like I said, contradictive, because when you're manifesting, you have to be specific as to what you want. But then after you're specific, you have to say, okay, go, you know what I mean? But really, I think that getting specific part is the divine speaking to you and saying, this is what you're capable of. I don't think that we crave or want anything that wasn't already put in our life plan. I believe that imagination is source speaking to us. So when we get that imaginative thought, it's more like, instead of looking at it as a want, look at it as like, that's so Raven, a vision in the future. Like it's belonging to you, it's yours, and you just need to do what you have to do to reach it. And that is living in your creator's image. It's really as simple as being a good person, staying faithful to your purpose, helping where you are required, and things of that sort.
It's just such a tough thing. Again, it isn't actually. It's really simple, but I overcomplicate things. And so I understand it on the conscious level. When things come up, I still struggle you just naturally go back into these sort of old patterns of being. And because I can get complacent, I will go to meditate every day, but like everyone, I can get complacent, I can get caught up in things and distracted, and then I pull back into it because it just seems so easy to resort
You're
back
supposed to do that, Karen. You're doing it perfect. You're supposed to do that. Everybody thinks that, you have to be like Buddha every day. There is no wrong door. There is no wrong path. If you are drawn to laying in bed all day, lay in bed all day. The dishes can wait. Things can wait. What is yours is yours. What is yours will come. When we get out of that alignment, all it's doing, it's not even out of alignment. It's teaching you the lessons and drawing attention to that hunger that you need to have. Like you got complacent, you weren't hungry anymore. So what did spirit do? It put you in a state where you got out of the alignment in which you were in, only to come across things that would shake up your world, get you out of routine, get you off path for a minute, just so you can be hungry again and be redirected. It's patience, man. They say it's a virtue.
Yeah. I mean, I just find it bizarre that obviously this is eternal, and yet
Right.
somehow, some way, I don't know how, but, and why is it across the world that we have been conditioned out of this? Because it's not, oh, there's that country and everyone there is in perfect alignment and living in joy and manifesting at will. And these guys aren't.
Girl, do you know how powerful the people would be if we all did this? No one would be homeless. No one would be working for pennies, not the skipping out on vacations because their time off wasn't approved. Nobody would be doing that. We would be so free. So does it really blow your mind that we've been structured to not believe? Because only 2% of this globe really does what we're doing. And honestly, I'm just so thankful for
2%.
you. 2%.
2%.
I'm so thankful for you. Like having these conversations and every single person who's listening, because the more we grow our individual selves, again, with us being mirrors to each other, when we grow our individual selves, we are then interacting with the people we love within our own communities and receiving support. We are watched by eyes that we don't even recognize. And as we continue to do exactly what you're doing here, Karen, which is, again, thank you. You're giving others the opportunity to see that this does work, because the media and things of that sort have been swayed for so long that it makes you look crazy. I remember my last really big spiritual awakening. My family thought I was schizophrenic. People like an ambulance showed up to give me a psychological whatever, and they were like, the people who came with like the computer and they were trying to see where my mental state was when they left, they were like, no, it just sounds like she's sick of living her old life and she has a big dream. Because I quit my job, I did all of these things. I had this vision of Tony Robbins, which was what I was like, I'm going to be someone like him. I need to have a following. I need to have an audience. I'm going to raise this frequency. Like, I know that working at this school is not what God wanted me to do. I'm to lead and I am to teach in a larger mass. Again, they were like, Sarah, you're crazy. And everyone thought I was nuts. 2 days later, again, spirit led, I wanted to go to tea. I had just quit my job. Probably shouldn't have gone out for some boba because I'm not bougie with a job at that point. Went out and got some boba tea. I ran into this woman whose son was best friends with Tony Robbins. She introduced me to 2 celebrities here in the United States. From there, I started doing interviews with people like chief and editors of really big top selling magazines. To, again, I had a TV show where I was interviewing these big people who had positions that everybody desires, but did they wake up in that place? No, no one wakes up with 1 million followers. No one wakes up with $1 million. No one wakes up with their dream job, their dream life. It takes work. And what I did was I found the people that others aspire to be, and I started interviewing them and asking them, how did you do that? And I was no one who had just quit my job at a school a few months prior. You'd be surprised. So many people say, I could never do that. Did you email anyone to ask if you could interview them? Did you find a platform? And it started on Facebook. Like, I was literally doing Facebook Lives with, again, chief and editors of huge selling magazines on my Facebook Live. To 6 months later, I had over 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Oh my goodness.
All you have to do is believe, and people will call you crazy. But are your dreams really crazy, or is everyone else just settling for what they've been taught? Because all it takes is that one courageous person to inspire. And again, It really starts in your own communities. Let the people who know you. In the Bible, it says, no prophet will be seen or respected within their hometown or underneath their own roof. That is with purpose. And it's true, because the people in your own hometown and the people underneath your own roof know you as the person who was broken, the person who it didn't work out for, the nobody, the ordinary plain Jane, just like everybody else. Greatness doesn't come from here. Greatness comes from the stars. That's not true. I was about to cuss. That's not true. Greatness is in within all of us, and we can all achieve it. All of us. It's for
Yes.
us all. Sorry.
Love that. No, do not apologize. Love it. You could, it just pours out of you, darling.
What?
But it is amazing that it really is. People put their own restrictions on themselves. It's all, and like you said, you went out and did it. You went out and approached people. Anybody could have done that, but they didn't even attempt it because they instantly said that's impossible. And because, they don't dream big enough. This is why I suppose they're stuck at home watching, I don't know, complete rubbish. The best thing I ever did was get rid of the TVs. At the beginning of lockdown, about 2.5 years now, no, just under 2.5 years, we do not have a terrestrial TV in this house. I've never felt better. Because I can't, even if I would have said before, I've always been, I don't want to listen to the news, it's too negative. However, I realise you still catch it because you might have it on in the background whilst you're doing the cooking. So but you're still catching it. So not having it at all is impossible. I can watch Netflix. I can choose to watch things, but there's no terrestrial. So there's no adverts. There's nothing being shoved down my throat every 20 minutes or so if I'm watching something. And I'm the last to find out about things because I'm not choosing to hear this stuff. But I suppose this is all keeping everybody down, their energy down, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm like you, I stopped watching TV a long time ago. I did, however, want to watch something the other night, like just randomly. I wanted to turn off my brain. And again, I don't watch TV at all. So I went to turn on my TV and I forgot how. Like I could not access anything I wanted to access. My daughter was already in bed. So I was like, I guess there's no TV again. But yeah, no, you got to block out that stuff. Let me ask you this. What side of your body, I'm going to blow your mind here. What side of your body is your heart on? What side is that?
My left, if I'm looking out.
Your left. So we've timeline hopped, and people like you and I who don't watch TV, who don't whatever, are in this new timeline. There are going to be people who say, no, what she's about to say, it has always been that way. Those people have already been in the timeline that we are currently in. But let me tell you, you have timeline hopped. Go on Google and search what side of my body, Google search, where is my heart located? It is no longer on the left side. It is now front and center. How did the autonomy of the human body change? And it's people like you who are escaping the news, who are escaping that negative vibration. Thank you for being here with me. We're on this great timeline. And I know I sound again, but that's what we're here
No,
for,
I love
right?
it. I'm
telling you, look on Google and type in, where is my heart? It will say front and center. When I grew up, it was on the left side. We are now in a new timeline. Those who remember that it was supposed to be on your left side are those who are in this new timeline where you have shifted. Congratulations to all of you who have made it to this new positive timeline. And those who say, no, it has always been front and center. You guys have just always been here. And those are probably the people that we're going to have to start working with to realize the changes that we're actually making. There are so many different realities and we get to choose which one. And my whole mission is making it to my highest timeline.
Wow. Okay, we're going to go there.
We're
going to go there. Like I said, we're no longer sprinkling in the woo-woo. We're I'm into more scoops and bucket loads.
Let's do it.
So for some of the listeners out there, that's going to be quite hard to grasp, right?
Yeah.
Timelines, quantum jumping, hopping, or whatever you want to
Actually,
call
there's
it.
a word
So,
for it. It's called quantum physics. Albert Einstein, E=mc squared. He spoke about it subtly many times, but woo, right? Only the most brilliant
look,
man studied quantum.
you know what?
Sorry.
I did. Oh no, I didn't even want to call this woo woo because I don't even the word, because in my head it's all woo. We just call it mental, physical, but actually it's all. But the reason was sometimes, that some people would just switch off if we went straight into that.
Oh, I
But
wasn't being offensive. I'm with you on it. Everyone calls
Oh,
it
yeah.
woo, and I'm so used to being called crazy until the word, like, see, here's the thing with our words. They will sit and spin in people's brain until one day it clicks, and all of a sudden, I'm not crazy anymore. And I'm okay with that. I always say there's a very fine line between insanity and reality. And people are so stuck in this one way of thinking, which is really when you block off. I'm not saying you need to believe everything you hear, because that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. But when you immediately say no, you are blocking an entire reality. Like you're letting an entire reality escape you, when if you just want to think about it for a moment. And again, you don't need to believe it, because that's dangerous, but allow it to prove itself to be true before you say no. Before you say no, don't say yes, don't say no, just say that's interesting and allow it to show itself to you.
But there you go. And like you said a bit earlier about, it's when you were practicing being, right? And you have a little win, and that's proving it to yourself. So yes, again, it's not about hearing something and just then suddenly believing it. It's taking something on and then having some kind of experience or really believing it, that raises it again for the next time. So I find it, I'm sure people think I'm completely nuts, but guess what? I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. But they don't realise how much they're just blocking themselves. But it all seems to be they're trying to compete with each other, and it's all making a stance. They're not being who they are, who they're meant to be, because they think that this is how they've got to start acting, start looking, rather than trust. Again, it's going back to that trust, isn't it?
Jealousy is the worst frequency you could be in. You could say how people are competing with each other. Jealousy is the worst frequency you can be in, because that's you saying that someone doesn't deserve to be heard. Someone doesn't deserve to win. Someone doesn't. And what that is, again, we are all mirrors. So therefore, in your core, you don't believe you could win. You don't believe you deserve abundance. What you put out, you receive back. So when you say somebody else doesn't deserve, that means you're basically saying, again, you don't deserve, because it's going to come around full circle. You have to encourage everybody. And for your entrepreneurs who listen, and for your other woo-wooers, fellow woo-wooers, here's a little sales thing. When you go to buy something, there's nothing your salesman can say to you to make you buy. If they're just like, no, this is great. You're not going to buy something just because someone says, this is great. You want it. This is great. How many hairstylists have you gone to that you really didn't like their work, but you loved them? See? So here's the thing is, you need to be somebody that you can connect with, that can be relatable, that could be kind. And again, not force you to say, my way is right. My way is great. You have to treat these people with, it's a lot of customer care. It's a lot of customer care of just acknowledging and making people feel important, like your crummy hairdresser does. And then also, instead of saying this product is just so great, that's not going to do this. That's not closing your sale. What's going to close your sale is your customer coming to that conclusion on their own. You put the ball in their court to see it for themselves and come to the conclusion that that product is what I need. It's not just being told to me that's what I need. I now feel that's what I need. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Because no one likes to be told, do they? Do you like to
No.
be told something?
And especially with religion and woo-woo stuff, like you can't, no way. Are you kidding
No.
me? A lot of people think that if you tell me that my religion's wrong, that they're gonna go to hell. So how can they have to see for themselves? And again, I
Yes.
am a Christian. So I call myself a witchy Christian. I believe in a lot of the religions. And again, with the whole thing of no one is right. My God isn't going to sit there and be like, Sarah, you tried your best to spread a message of hope and love, and you were compassionate and considerate, and you didn't lie or cheat or steal, but you ate bacon, and the Muslims, they had it right. So I'm gonna have to show you the door now, babe. He's not gonna do
Yeah.
that. I don't care if you pray to a cereal box. I don't care. Just as long as you have a moral compass that's guiding you and you're following the true divine speaks right to your heart. People don't realize it. In the Bible, it says we're made in God's image. Therefore, you have a piece of God in you, and I respect and honor that about you in all ways. And so do I. So that means if you don't want to respect and honor that, that's okay. But that doesn't take away from the part of God that lives inside of me.
Right. And this is the thing, isn't it? Isn't this the big challenge of the world, is that everybody being so opinionated, being so, I'm right and you're wrong. No, I'm right and you're wrong. And you think, but you all think you're right and you all think each other's are wrong. I mean, if anybody's looking down on us from another planet, they must be like, what on earth are this lot like? We're quite funny creatures, really. But isn't that the thing, when we can just accept, believe whatever you want to believe, it's not going to change me. But it's this acceptance of, like you just said, it's okay.
Do you know how hard it is to be mean to someone who's nice to you? It is so hard. And let me tell you, I love when I post on my own social medias, people who step in and they're like, but you're wrong and you're this and you're that. And I just come back with love and understanding. And I will never, because here's the thing, we're not going to know who's right or wrong with anything until we can't say it out of our mouths, basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I honor everybody's opinions. And it's so funny to me when these, I guess common word is troll, these trolls come out from under their bridges and they want to come and attack. And then I fill them with love and acceptance of what they have to say. And they either go cricket or they apologize. And it's I have the only haters I have, I don't know about, because
Wonderful.
it really is, because with almost 160,000 followers,
My
I
goodness.
don't get hate. There's no hate on any of my pages. We are all, and you'd be surprised with how many people just want to live in that frequency. And if you are
Right.
in a place where it's choose left or right, chances are you should probably remove yourself from that place, because if we have sides, point blank, period, no one's ever going to win.
No, and that's it. But I suppose for many people, and I'm sure, again, touch wood, I haven't had anything so far.
Good.
But also I am a bit of I can take things personally, I'll admit. And I can understand why we mustn't, because that's feeding it. But how do people not take things personally if they're being attacked? And I can totally see, it's so funny, I can totally see why that would be. And that would be why you're not getting any haters, the trolls. But for a lot of people, again, it's they're feeling bad, they're taking ownership of it. And yeah, I suppose that's going to attract more of the same.
Again, we're all mirrors of each other. So if something triggers you, if somebody says something like, say someone belittles your intelligence, Karen, you are a smart woman. No one should ever have the authority to belittle your intelligence. So for you to, if someone belittles your intelligence and you believe it, that's a moment for you to say, why do I feel this way about myself? Like, why do you care? Another point is people who hate themselves hate others because they hate themselves. If you met somebody who had a developmental handicap would you call them stupid or any terrible, no, you don't do that because people just don't attack the weak. Not
I
saying
don't
that
understand why anybody, I just don't ever, with the whole social media, with the trolls, I just don't get why anybody would waste their time
it makes them
to
feel better.
even write a nasty comment. Like, scroll on by. Nobody's forcing you to watch. So it's never made any sense. I don't get it. I don't
But
get
you
how
get the
people can get
opportunity
caught
to
up.
heal that person. When they show their face, all it says is it's pretty much your higher power sending you a broken person to teach them that they don't need to act that way. And again, people who say mean things, they don't really mean it. Again, you wouldn't pick on somebody who had a medical issue for their issue because you just don't. But think about in high school, maybe there was a girl who was like popular or whatever you want to call it, whatever. And people may have called her like ugly or whatever, not because she was actually ugly, but because they wanted other people to think that she was ugly because the person who started it felt that way. Anytime someone's cruel is an opportunity to heal. And instead of taking it as something's wrong with me, it's more of an opportunity to investigate why it would trouble you. And two, those are the people that we need to save because I know I'm not going around doing that. So if they're going around doing it, there's your opportunity. It's like a sick person just came forward, and that's your opportunity to show them light and kindness and acceptance and unconditional love and all of the things that this world needs. Because otherwise, if you feed into that negative frequency, it's just going to run amok. It's going to continue. It's going to spread. But you had an opportunity to show somebody how to have an actual conversation, how to heal, how to come to an understanding, how to feel heard.
Right. Love that. So what is it that you're really passionate about? Obviously, you want to spread the word about that. Yeah, you can have whatever, do whatever it is you want and trust yourself. So if you work with entrepreneurs, what is it you're trying to, how are you trying to teach them this?
I have a lot of projects that I'm working on. I'm working on a convention right now in my hometown. I decided I wanted to create a resort, right? I wanted a resort because if I had a community, it turns a little culty. And I don't want a cult. So what I decided was I wanted this cult, or that cult, geez Louise. Sorry, I wanted this community. And I wanted to encourage others to chase their dreams, to become creative, to lean into their spirituality, to re-spark the light that was inside of them. And as I decided to do that, at first I was going to go to Peru. And then things came up and it got canceled. And I was so bummed. I was so bummed. But then a week later, I got a message from somebody who gifted me land in Costa Rica. So I did. So I didn't go to Peru, which I was bummed about. Again, my human mind. I really wanted to hold on to this. And what would have happened was I would have spent money on plane tickets and a place to stay and all this stuff looking to purchase land when, again, I released. I said, okay, if I'm not supposed to go, which I don't understand why you're stopping this, God, because I'm trying to serve you here. But I went with the flow. And again, I got gifted land out in Costa Rica. So I'm turning into a non-for-profit, and there's a lot of really great things. Basically, I'm just bringing people together who, again, they're going to come, they're going to stay for 2 weeks, learn how to garden, meditate, journal. If you want to get into like pottery, jewelry making, working with crystals, palmistry, learning how to tap into your own intuition, even carpentry, like all of these creative outlets, entrepreneur-esque things. Like you don't have to sign up to sell in a pyramid scheme anymore. What do you love? Sell that.
Yes.
I want to teach people how to be passionate about their lives, how to listen to their heart, their soul, how to fulfill their purpose. And then after 2 weeks, leave, get out of here and go spread that in your community where people, again, nobody was trusting, going back to the whole no profit will be seen in their hometown or under their roof. But after seeing all of this 2 weeks with people who do see that in you, and then connecting with them and seeing their growth and inspiring each other, I hope that they can then light the way for others within their community. And
Yes,
that's
it will do.
I want to raise a global frequency. I would really like to see more people learning how to accept their struggles and know that they are not powerless and just be happy. Just I'm so sick
But
of the
that's it.
suffering.
But that's it. It is because the weirdness, because I still find it really weird, but it is that simple. But again, it's just, how did we get here? Where it's become so unnatural to be, because that is our natural state of being. And I would say, strangely, before I came into the self-development arena, I would say I was always more in the flow, just naturally. From about the age of 17, I was off living in Ibiza, and I just used to go off. I just was very much in the flow of things. And okay, you have children, things change, responsibilities, things, thinking, again, just ego, thinking that we've got to now be like this. But also, because in the self-development arena, they talk so much about your thoughts become things, that, again, that's ego. And it's almost like I've gone backwards again. And it is as simple as just allowing, practicing just being. But it's almost, I don't know, there's just resistance against it, because all the judgment that we can put on ourselves, right? Because no one else is judging us for it. They can't see if I'm sat on the sofa or anything. So it could be the judgments that we put on ourselves because we think we should be doing something. And actually, when we do less, we do more. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I've been thinking about that a lot the past couple days, which is ironic that you even said that. What I've come to notice is I think the key to it all is, if you had nothing, would you be okay? And I think that if you could imagine yourself with literally nothing and you could still be happy, that says a lot. But we've been taught that you need this and you need that. But you know what? Some people don't need this or that. I'm sitting here giving you all my highlights today. I've still experienced lows. And you know what? The higher you rise, the higher your lows come later. There's nothing saying that one day I don't lose my home. One day I don't lose my lucky streak. And I need to be okay with that. I've learned, and I think that's where my abundance has really flown, is nothing is mine. Nothing is mine. If it can be given to me, it can be taken away from me. And I shouldn't worry about what others expect of me, because you know what? Those people are going to pass away one day and their opinions will pass with them. And then you've led your whole life pleasing somebody else and not yourself. To be happy within your own mind, I believe, is the key to it all. Because again, you never know if you're going to lose your home, a loved one, anything. But I promise you this, if you have faith, that loss won't hit as hard, because you know that it happened with purpose and something else is to come of it always.
It's going back to that, just somehow finding a way to, number one, not take things so blooming seriously. Don't you think? Like, we've just put so much attention on things. And like you say, it's all going to be okay. And they say, is it going to matter 5 years from now? No. So stop worrying about it. But
Right.
it is all down to this, just how we've been brought up. If you haven't been made aware of that, and if I hadn't been introduced to these books, if I hadn't chosen to read more books and look into it, I wouldn't be none the wiser, because what we've been taught as the way to do things, I've quite clearly done the opposite. But
right, I feel that. I've been there.
And yeah, it's okay. And I'm absolutely fine with it. to the listeners out there, so what's your next? So you say that you want to do this retreat. Love that. Yeah, that's. I keep looking at Machu Picchu recently, and there's a draw to Mexico. I've been saying for the last 3 years. I think I'm going to be an empty nester soon. So my children do know that if so, I'm not having another winter in the UK. I am off, and for some reason, I keep getting pulled that way. But other than the retreat, what's next for Sarah? What's next for you? Or are you you're just going with the flow?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I only do what I'm called to do. I don't make plans anymore. We're not supposed to pick one thing and stick with it. We are evolving creatures. We are not robots. Who knows? But I know it's going to be good.
See, that's quite fascinating what you just said there, because again, we have all been taught, and again, in the self-development arena, it's so important to have your goals down. But actually, what we're saying is actually the opposite.
You want to, by discovering what you're passionate about, you're discovering really what your goals are, in my opinion. So I know that as long as I follow my passions and I'm staying aligned as a mere reflection of what I assume my higher power to be, again, honest, kind, compassionate, all of those things, I just know I won't fail. If that makes, I know that sounds really,
yeah, no,
that's all I'm saying.
It's brilliant. And again, so you almost stopped yourself there because you thought it sounds bad in some way. And it's like this word, we were talking about this the other day, the word selfish has a negative sort of overtone to it, which is rubbish, because to focus on you, then you're able to give more. So again, it's like everything is backwards. It's almost, the more I delve into this, it's almost like everything we've been taught is actually the opposite. All the good foods that we've been told are good for us are actually really bad for us. Everything just seems topsy-turvy, I think, which is where some people will think I'm completely mad. But a lot of the things that we are told to be the right things, I'm like, nah, I got it wrong. That's wrong. So everything is backwards. So yeah, it's to be selfish, to focus on you actually is a positive thing, because then you can go out and give more.
Absolutely. You don't want to be selfish. I think this is what I'm going to say. There's a difference between selfish and greedy. Greedy is when you already have and you want more. That's not okay. But to be selfish with yourself it's protecting who you are, and you need to care. You can't save anybody unless you save yourself first.
Exactly.
You can't save anybody. You have to save yourself first. And I think people get greedy and selfish confused, because greedy would mean, let's say, you're out with your friends and you want to go to one store, they want to go to the other store. You just left the store that you already had wanted to go to. Yeah, that's selfish or greedy if you want to continue only satisfying yourself and go to only the stores you want to go to when you just had a turn. That's selfish. That's greedy.
And it's a different, again, isn't it funny how words can have completely different meanings to them? And this is the thing, and I think that's why so many women feel guilt if they do go and do something for themselves, because again, it's been put on them you've got to worry about everybody and not yourself. And so then that feelings of guilt is bringing us down. Whereas actually, if you took time out, when you come back in, you'll be able to give more to the people who need it. It seems like everything is a little bit backwards. But I knew. Great conversation. We were going to go down. I've just realised it's flipping the hours up. We were going to go off on a tangent, and we didn't really. We're going to have to get you back on. I can't
We had
believe
fun.
the hour's
I like
up.
this. I'm into it.
I can't believe the hour's up. Listeners, if they want to get in touch with you or they want to, connect, how do they find you?
A lot of my content on TikTok has a lot of spiritual growth, self-development, encouraging, motivational. It's actually a smorgasbord. You never know what you're going to get. So on TikTok, you just search my name, Sarah Proia. If you wanted to reach out to me personally, I would probably recommend heading over to Instagram. My Instagram is a ghost town, which means if you send me a message, I will see it, versus if you reach me on TikTok, I have thousands of messages that overwhelm me. But
awesome. So just Sarah Proia on Instagram and TikTok.
yeah,
just
and
under
I'm
your
on
name.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Yeah, I'd love to connect with anybody who felt the urge to, because
Fantastic.
I feel like just everyone's so important.
Love that. And yes, I totally agree. Everybody can be, do, have anything they want to be, and it's us getting in our own way. So thank you so much for your time today. It's been wonderful speaking to you. I think we're going to have to get you back on and we'll go on a tangent. Let's do it. And to the rest of the listeners, I will be back on Monday with a coffee with Karen. So bye for now.
Coffee with
Thank you so much for having me. You're so
Coffee with Karen podcast, a weekly chat show discussing everything from holistic health to current affairs from a mental, physical and spiritual perspective. Get your weekly cup of positivity with a sprinkling of woo.